Hello and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Social Studies. Again, I'm going to try to keep this one short. We're just going to do a couple quick things here. Well, one quick thing we're going to do, and then you're going to spend your time working on that yellow review packet. Now, some of you have already finished that, so that gives you a little extra time to enjoy some of the Constitution videos that I will show you. So this is the sheet you need. I believe this is sheet number 5. I may be wrong on the number, but I'm pretty sure this is 5. We have filled in this part. We have filled in the other side of it already, and we have filled in the bottom of this side. On the other side of this sheet is how a bill becomes a law, how laws are made, more things to know about the Constitution. And we filled in the part below this, which talks about how different parts of government are elected and how long they serve. That was in a different video. But we had left this part blank, our Constitution today, the summary version. We will talk about this more in school, about the different amendments to the Constitution, but I wanted you to have a chance to have it down in your notes already so that you can use it to review and study, because we do have a test coming up. So first of all, you're going to fill in this sheet as we go along here. The introduction to the Constitution: we the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish the Constitution of the United States of America. That is called the preamble. So you're going to write Preamble, preamble there. Okay, then the original Constitution was Articles 1 through 7. That's this part of the document right here. It set up the federal FedGov, or you could say the national government, either one. Set up the national or the federal government. Divided its power among 3 branches, as you know, the 3 branches. And it explained the roles, the requirements, and the responsibilities of each of those branches. So that's what the original Constitution did. Also, we didn't really get into this part, but it talks about the rules for ratification. Basically, it had to be ratified by 9 of the 13 states. The amendment process, what had to happen to change or amend the Constitution. We'll talk about that in school. And how new states could join the U.S. And then finally, it declared the Constitution the supreme law of the land. Okay, so you might remember in the debate over ratification, the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists disagreed about that. And the Anti-Federalists did not want this Constitution because they didn't want to give too much power to the national government, and because it did not have a Bill of Rights. So the Federalists agreed that the new government, if the Constitution was ratified and it went into effect, the new government would add a Bill of Rights. So the first 10 amendments is going to be the Bill of Rights. Here it says Bill of Rights. You're going to write Bill of Rights right here. Bill of Rights. It's basically a list of rights. It's the first 10 amendments. And amendments means changes. That's important to know. It says it here too. Amendments are changes. So when something is changed, it's amended. Make sure you know that. Amendments, first 10 amendments or changes to the Constitution, these are intended to protect individual rights. Individual rights. Okay, now we're going to go through some of these first 10 amendments. You might notice it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10. I do know how to number, but you don't need to know all of them. We'll talk about them in school, but these are the ones you need to know. The First Amendment. First Amendment says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So this is the First Amendment. Very, very, very important, very famous. It protects the freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, the right to assemble, and to petition. Now, we aren't going to get into these ones as much, but you should definitely write down religion, speech, and press. So protects freedoms of religion, speech, press. If you want to write petition in an assembly, you can. We'll go over that later. Okay, so that's what goes in the First Amendment. What is the Second Amendment, you might wonder? Well, it is the right to bear arms. That means the right to wear short sleeve shirts. Get it? All right. Some of you laughed, I'm sure. All right, the bear arms. So basically, you might know what this one means. Basically, it means the right to own weapons. A well regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. We'll talk a little bit more about the Second Amendment. Second Amendment's very much discussed all the time. The right to bear arms means the right to own weapons, guns specifically, and it's one that's become a bit controversial over the last 20-ish years, maybe. Um, but it is clearly a part of the Constitution, and we'll talk about it a little bit in school as well. But I want you to know the right to bear arms and the right to own weapons. All right, next, the Third Amendment. Third Amendment is not very controversial, almost never discussed. It says the government may not require quartering of soldiers. It may not require quartering. Quartering, you might remember from the Quartering Act. Remember, the Quartering Act was still in their minds at this time when they wrote the Constitution. The Quartering Act that required Americans to house and feed or to quarter British soldiers, this says that that cannot happen here. Fourth Amendment, this is a response. The Fourth Amendment here is a response to the writs of assistance. It protects against unwarranted searches, and seizures is another one. But if you put searches for now, that'll help us out, and we'll get it down. We'll talk a little bit. Fourth Amendment is one that is often, very often involved in important court cases. Fifth Amendment is the rights of the accused. Fifth Amendment gives you the right to remain silent, among other things. Also says government may not take away property without paying for it. We'll talk about that more in school as well. The sixth and seventh, you don't have to worry about. The eighth, no cruel and unusual punishments. 10th is powers not listed in the Constitution belong to the states and or people. And then down the last thing, the subsequent amendments, those are amendments that came after. In addition to the Bill of Rights, there have been 17 additional amendments to bring the total to 27 total amendments. Okay, the rest of the time you are going to spend filling in the yellow review packet. Now you can do these ones about the amendments, like the first 10 amendments, hint, hint, Bill of Rights. A change to the Constitution, hint, hint, amendment. To change or to add is amend. Let's see. I'm not going to give you all the answers there, but this should help you out. So you're going to try to get all of these 4 pages done. Remember, you have notes that go with it. Another resource is the website, which I will put on Schoology. I showed it to you in a previous video. It has all the filled in notes. It has cool videos. I have moved the cool videos to a separate page. If you click up here, this is just a taste of some of the excitement you have waiting for you if you click on that link. All right, so that is all. Maybe you can listen to some of these songs while you work on your yellow packet. And that is all. Have a pleasant day, and I will see you soon.